Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Off the Bench. It is are we at episode 4? Four episodes into the new season.
Behind.
We're a little behind. We're going to try and upload some old episodes for you guys. We had a little trouble with the computers and whatnot. But here we are, back again, back in the saddle again, as Aerosmith would say. It's NBA season. It's NFL season. We are at the sports equinox. Every sport will be playing this week.
Yeah.
Noah, it's looking great. It's great to be a sports fan.
It's great to be back here on Off the Bench with you.
It's great to be with you as well.
As I'm sure you've seen on our Twitter earlier this week, Maui is going to be taking a leave of absence until further notice. He's got some stuff to take care of, and we're going to let him take care of that stuff.
Yep.
We'll carry the show.
Yes, we will.
Until the big guy gets back.
We'll be back to our three-man crew. It'll be fantastic.
But he'll be back.
He will be back, but we'll hold it down until he gets back.
We will.
Got a few things this episode. Another NHL update. I don't know if we updated you guys already. It might have been an older episode, but an NHL update. Obviously, the NBA season is starting. We'll have some predictions on the season. Let's see what else. World Series. We'll talk about the World Series between the Nationals and the Astros.
Yep.
And then finally a little bit of NFL talk.
Yep.
But we can talk about the NHL, Noah. How about them Pens? How are them Pens doing?
I mean, the Pens are really playing well right now.
Yeah, especially with how many injuries they have.
It really is amazing. Without Malkin.
And Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk's injured as well.
And he's out for a long period of time as well. It's really amazing what these young players are doing that they're bringing up through the system. And that's been the Pens' way. You know, if you go through the cup runs, the bunch of young, fast players. Last year they kind of slowed down a little bit. They went slower, and it ended up costing them. But definitely one of the top two teams in the Metro, in my opinion.
Number two.
If not the best team. I don't know. I guess I could be biased since I am a Pens fan. I hate Washington, but Mark Locke would probably disagree with me.
Mark Locke would definitely disagree with you.
But Letang, Sid, and Gensel, the three guys that you need to step up in Malkin's absence, are stepping up. Sid and Letang lead the team in points. Sid with 12, Letang with 10, and then Gensel right behind them with 8. And then Gensel leads the team in goals. So they're all playing to the capability that they all can play at. Mm-hmm. And that's why they're second in the Metro right now, right behind Washington.
Yep.
But you go to the broader aspect
all right,
of the NHL.
I'll talk broader NHL. So the three top teams in the NHL this week, as of October, what's the date today?
Today is October 22nd.
Okay,
9 days from Halloween.
As of October 22nd.
Which we do have an announcement later on.
We do have an announcement later on. Noah can announce that, because I don't know what's going on with that. I'm still under wraps like a mummy.
Isaac, we're going to surprise him
You're
tonight.
going to surprise me tonight. All right, so the top teams in the NHL, Colorado Avalanche, who everybody kind of expected that. The Avalanche win the offseason. They're in a win-now mentality. The Edmonton Oilers have shocked a lot of people. They're doing well. Mike Smith, at like 87 years old in net, is somehow doing something.
Literally.
They got 15 points this season. But the other one who did this last year, hopefully they don't crumble like they did last year, is the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Sabres are balling out on the ice. But other than that, I mean, those are your top teams in the NHL right now. They're all tied in points with 15 points.
This little slapper there.
That looked like a golf shot. That didn't look like a
well, I am
shot.
a golfer.
You are, yeah. You gotta learn, buddy. But anyway, those are your top teams in the NHL as of right now. The Sabres are known to kind of choke later on in the season, so we'll see how they do. If the Oilers can maintain this fantastic, hopefully McDavid gets another playoff run.
Yeah, the NHL is always competitive.
And that's why I like hockey so much, because compared to other leagues, it doesn't matter what kind of team you have. You could go on a run. St. Louis, who won the Cup last year, was last place in the league.
Yeah.
I think it was January. They were literally the last place team in the NHL, and they came out and they won the Stanley Cup. Anything is possible in the NHL, in the NFL,
in the
NFL as well. All right, other phenomena going on in the NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets are right on the cusp of a wild card spot, which is where they were last year when they upset the Tampa Bay Lightning in 4 games. You did call. Yeah, Chloe, they swept them in 4. Anyway, the Blue Jackets are right on the cusp, even though their goal differential is -8. They have given up 8 more goals than they have scored. Their goaltending is awful. But hey, they're still winning games. That's all that matters.
Funny game.
It's a funny game, hockey. And of course, the Philadelphia Flyers still suck. Moving on to the NBA. How about it's time? It's that time of year. Noah, how are we feeling about the NBA this year?
Well, Maui gave his bold prediction. I don't know if this is really a bold prediction.
What was his bold prediction?
His bold prediction was that Gardner Minshew was going to win Rookie of the Year in the NFL.
Yeah.
So my bold prediction for the NBA, which isn't that bold, because I'm sure that there are others saying this, LeBron's going to come out and win MVP this year.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
I really think that he's going to have a bounce-back year in, I'm sorry, Isaac, not Cleveland, but L.A.
So my question is, if he can't win MVP with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the year he played 82 games, led them in every single statistical category, except for maybe rebounding, and he didn't win MVP that year, you're saying he's going to be even better this year?
Well, here's the problem. I mean, he had Kyrie that year, okay?
No, I'm talking the year he played 82 games when Kyrie was gone.
Okay, that was the first year.
Yeah, that was the first year Kyrie was gone. Before he left.
That makes my point even better now, because
that was the year after Westbrook had averaged a triple-double.
Right.
And when Harden got 8,000 points because he'd go to the free throw line 8,000 times a game. That was the year after they won the
finals?
That was 2 years after they won the finals.
Okay.
Yes. That was his first year without Kyrie. That was his last year with Kevin Love. But Kevin Love didn't play for half
when
the year.
Kyrie was there, it's kind of like the NFL. When you have, let's use the Steelers, for example.
Yeah.
When they had Antonio Brown and Juju.
Yeah.
Juju was catching all the passes last year because AB was getting double teamed.
covered.
Well, it's kind of like that in basketball, except not to the extent of you getting double teamed. But teams are going to put their best defensive player on LeBron, and they're going to switch screens and everything. And LeBron's the best player in the world, in my opinion. Okay,
yeah. He is the best player in the world. I think.
So he's attracting the best player from the other team, guarding him, best defensive player.
Yeah.
Switching screens. Well, now when he's in LA, and you have a guy like Anthony Davis, they can't do that anymore because it opens the floor up more now. Because LeBron has another option to pass to. Now, people could say, well, it's going to take a lot of points away from LeBron. I don't think that's how it works. I really don't. I really think that the Lakers adding Anthony Davis is going to help LeBron score even more.
Okay. The Lakers added Anthony Davis. Never mind. I'm not gonna circum-argue with you. Because when LeBron was in Cleveland, he was getting double-teamed almost every time.
Yeah, I
He
know.
was making stupid shots against the Raptors, kissing it off the glass with a floater.
Yeah,
with 1
hey,
second left.
I agree with you.
Like, he was doing unreal things that year, and he still didn't win MVP.
And he played 82 games.
And he played 82 games. It was the first time in his career he ever played a full season.
Yeah,
we'll see how he does this year.
You just don't see that much from many players playing 82
I know,
games.
playing 82 games, doing all that, and leading their team still. But I don't know. Any other things you got going on this year?
Well, I'm
in the
going
NBA?
to pose a question to you because I know how I'm going to respond to it. But,
Okay.
they say that Klay Thompson is most likely going to be out for the year, recovering from his surgery.
Yeah.
They lose KD in free agency.
Yep. They did bring D'Angelo Russell.
They did bring D'Angelo Russell in. How are they going to be this year? Is this going to be let me say it this way. Is this going to be the Warriors team that we've seen the past 5 years?
No.
Absolutely.
I think my bold prediction for this NBA season, the Warriors will not make the playoffs. So I don't think that the Warriors will be good this year. I think with D'Angelo and Steph, there may be some power struggle because D'Angelo was the man in Brooklyn. Steph is the man with Golden State. And if you take Klay out of there, D'Angelo's not just going to pull up and start shooting like Klay did. Because that's all that Klay... Because Klay was a team player.
And that's why the Warriors were so good for all those years in a row, because they could shoot the ball.
And you're just going to have Draymond Green running around kicking people in the crotchal region. I mean,
well,
you never know.
I mean...
Getting teched up every game. I mean, you got the Clippers, who everybody's saying is arguably the best team in LA now.
I know.
They're saying they're better than the Lakers.
I know.
With their weird condor mascot. The weirdest looking mascot in the NBA.
I think that the West is far superior.
Oh, it has been.
In my opinion.
It has been.
And it has been like that. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact.
It's been like that since 2010, since the East ran through LeBron. since the East ran through LeBron.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that was when LeBron was going to the finals.
that was when he was
every year.
going to the finals every year, and he's still. Last year was the first year he hadn't gone to the finals. I think.
Yeah.
I think to go off of that, I think you are right. I think this is his first offseason he's had to fully recover and fully.
What was it? Was it 8 years in a row? 8 or 9? Was it 9?
I think it was 8 because he had 4 with Miami.
Yeah.
And then he had 4 with Cleveland because
Yeah.
he lost, lost in Cleveland.
Yeah. So either way, whether it's 8 or 9, that's still unbelievable.
Yeah.
Going to the finals that many years in a row, and people still disrespect your name and say you're not the best player in the league.
I do think going back to the East, I feel like the 76ers can shock a lot of people. I mean, they've finally got that core. The core's finally coming together. But I also think that the Heat are going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Butler down there.
Yeah, they lose Dwayne Wade to retirement.
But you get Jimmy Butler.
But you get Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets, baby.
Is a hell of a player.
Oh yeah.
I mean, going back to his days in Chicago, I think that's really where he had the best part of his career so far.
Definitely.
In Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's going to revive that in Miami.
Yeah, you think so?
I think he's going to revive it.
I think he will as well.
I think that Miami's a good fit for him, and Miami in the East is looking good.
They are. I mean, and finally, I got to talk about my Cavs.
Go ahead. I had a LeBron Cavs jersey.
You had a LeBron Cavs jersey? That's
I
fine.
still have it.
That's okay.
I got all the LeBron jerseys.
You're a LeBron guy, I know. I know you're a LeBron guy. I think that the Cavs this year, they won't be the worst team in the NBA. I can assure that. I think that Colin Sexton could win Most Improved Player. He's looked phenomenal. I think their draft picks that they have this year, Darius Garland will probably end up being the starting point guard. I think you got those 2 young guards. You got Kevin Love as basically the dad at power forward. Mm-hmm. And then you got the last Jetty Osman and Tristan Thompson. It's not a sexy lineup, but it'll get the job done.
It'll be better than they were last year.
I think they'll be a lot better than they were last year. I don't think they'll be rotating much.
And it was just a shock. I know that you always think when you have a player like LeBron that he's going to re-sign.
Yeah.
Especially when he's from
the area.
And I think it was a shock that took them into the season. And that's hard to recover from. It really is. When you lose a player like LeBron James, because there isn't anybody like LeBron James anymore.
I think there wasn't very much. I don't think there wasn't very much, if any, resentment from fans.
Yeah.
In the situation, because we understand he brought us the championship and everything, and there was no hard feelings.
Yeah. Not like the first time.
Not like the first time, where he went on national TV and made a big deal about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
And I think that's where LeBron receives a lot of his criticism.
Yes.
Which, that's understandable.
If you think about it, when he went to the Heat for 4 years, that's like him going to college.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he was a man in Cleveland and won us a title.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Going to Cleveland, it's horrible. Watching a World Series in Cleveland was heartbreaking. So how about we talk about the World Series, Noah?
Yeah?
How about
Well, Mark Locke can thank me for this later.
Yeah?
Because so far...
Every team you've predicted to win
I've picked
has
Milwaukee.
Not won.
I picked Milwaukee in the wild card game.
Yeah,
Nats win. I picked the Dodgers in the division series. Who won?
Nats won.
Nats win. Okay. So I picked the Cardinals in the championship series. So let's keep the trend going and let's take the Astros in 6.
Okay.
But I really mean it this time. Like, I kind of did it for Mark last series because I was the jinx for them.
Yeah.
Saying that St. Louis would win, even though I really did not believe that.
Yeah.
But the Astros pitching rotation, listen, no disrespect to the Nationals pitching rotation because it's very good and the second best rotation, in my opinion, in the playoffs this postseason.
Yes.
But when you have the top 3 pitchers, Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, and Zach Greinke all pitching in back-to-back games, that's going to be hard to beat. Scary pitching matchups too. Cole and Scherzer in Game 1. Strasburg and Verlander in Game 2. Greinke and Corbin in Game 3. Those are 3 scary pitching matchups. 6 of the top pitchers in the league, in my opinion. So, Astros at 6. That's if Greinke and Verlander pitch well. They haven't pitched the best this postseason for the Astros.
4.0 year
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that?
which is not good. Which is not very good.
The good thing, though, is the Astros can hit the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps out pitchers, even if they.
Yeah, because they're coming out to the mound with a lead sometimes. So, I still think if Greinke and Verlander don't pitch great, I still think the Astros win, but you're going to go one more game further. So
They'd have to do a bullpen game, you think?
I think that they're doing bullpen in Game 4, the Astros.
Okay.
Definitely. And then that'll give Garrett Cole to come back for Game 5 if we get to that point, which there would have to be a sweep if they don't. And Garrett Cole in his last 19 starts I'm almost positive, is 19-0. He has not lost a game in his last.
He has like a 1.9 ERA, something like that. It's something ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I hope the Pirates are happy with Colin Moran and Joe Musgrove and Michael Felice. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to say? That's all you're going to say? I mean, when I see the Nationals, they were coming in hot to the playoffs. They were hot all through the playoffs. The last team I can think that got this far and just stayed hot was the 2016 Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, there you go.
I love relating things back to Cleveland sports because that's what I am. That's what I do. That's what my shirt symbolizes. Cleveland sports. Do you remember what happened in 2016, Noah?
You can tell me what happened because
You
I
want me to tell you what
know
happened?
what happened.
You know what happened?
And I'm not the biggest Cleveland
You're
sports
not the biggest
fan,
Cleveland sports
so
fan.
I'd rather not say.
So, the Cleveland Indians were riding high into the playoffs. They went on a 22-game win streak, I believe, that year. It was something unheard of to get into the playoffs. They won, of course, they won the AL Central, which people argued was one of the worst divisions in baseball, but this year we could honestly say it was the NL Central, which was god-awful. But in 2016, they went into the playoffs. Nobody thought anything of them. Their only starting pitchers were Corey Kluber, Josh Tomlin, and a young Mike Clevenger.
Who's very good.
And also Trevor Bauer, who cut his hand on his drone during the ALCS. You love hearing about stuff like that. But they go into the first series.
Go ahead.
They go into the first series. That was the year they played the Red Sox in the first round. Swept them in 5 games. Unbelievable. Everybody thought, they were like, oh, the Red Sox are just going to demolish them. It was Big Poppy's. It was Beep Poppy.
I was one of those people. But hey, keep going.
Keep going. They went and they played the Blue Jays, I think they swept the Rangers?
Yeah.
And Rangers were supposed to be one of the best teams in baseball that year.
Yeah.
Yep, that was where Joey Bats was born.
They beat them.
In that series. And then the Indians beat them in what, 4 games?
Mhm.
5 games?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Doesn't matter.
In the ALCS. But anyway, they get to the World Series, and it's the matchup of the century, of the millennia, between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs.
Now that we got to the World Series, I'm happy to say that I do remember what happened in 2016. And since I'm not a Cleveland sports fan, Isaac, remind me who won?
That would be the Chicago Cubs.
As much as I hate the Cubs, I like the Cubs that night.
After the Indians had blown a 3-1 lead, Cleveland used too many Warriors blew a 3-1 lead jokes, came back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cleveland goes into the series up 3-1. They're looking good. It's the first time they'd win a pennant since the 20s. They were the 2 longest World Series droughts in the MLB. If it were any other team besides the Indians, I would also have been rooting for the Cubs. But of course it had to be my Indians.
Good for the Cubs.
Good for the Cubs. But it comes down to Game 7. The Indians were rolling hot. They were rolling. They were 3-1. We get into Game 7.
Not hot enough.
Hold on. They were in Game 7. The man of last weekend, Aroldis Chapman.
He just loves blowing
He
saves.
loves blowing saves.
Well,
he loves it.
He loves blowing games, we
he
should
loves
say. 'Cause
blowing games.
Last week wasn't a save. But
No, he loves blowing games. They get into the 8th inning in Cleveland. Cleveland's down 2 runs. Brandon Guyer had just hit an RBI single. He's sitting on second base. Rajay Davis comes up to bat. Aroldis Chapman's throwing gas. 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Rajay Davis takes a pitch, hits it right to the camera. You see the camera, the ball comes right at it. You see the camera swing. The Indians tie the game at 8 apiece.
And then the rain delay.
Hold on. You get into the 9th inning, and then they call a rain delay. They
delay.
bring the tarp out. It just kills the Indians' momentum. It killed it. 2016 was Cleveland's year of sports. There's no other explanation. It was 2-1-6. It was Cleveland's year. The Cavs had won the NBA Finals that year. It was ridiculous. The Indians should have won. The MLB is rigged.
Boy, am I glad I'm not a big sports fan. I mean,
sorry, I got a little heated, guys.
it's just
Story
great.
time. It was story time with Isaac. Sorry.
And I'm glad that Phil is behind the camera, and he's a Pittsburgh sports. Well,
No, he's a Yankees fan.
well,
He's a Yankees fan.
he's Pittsburgh everything else.
He's a Yankees fan. That revokes his fan card.
But let's get back to the Cleveland Indians not being in the World Series this year. And
Awful.
so are you taking the Nats
I'm taking the Nats.
in?
6.
Okay, so I got Astros in 6. Isaac has Nats in 6. We should place like a little wager on this.
Okay. Okay, what do you want to do for the wager?
We'll let you guys know next
Yeah,
week.
we'll let you guys
figure
know.
it
We'll
out.
put it up on Twitter. We'll put a poll up.
Yeah.
You guys can decide.
We'll put a poll up. You
We'll
guys
let the
decide
fans
what the
decide.
little wager is there.
All 150 of you.
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe
Hopefully more.
But let's move on, Isaac, and let's talk about the National Football League. Just real quick, because we've talked about the NFL pretty much every episode so far, so you're probably sick and tired of hearing about
I
the
have
NFL.
just quick points.
I do too as well, and I'm going to make them real quick.
Yeah.
New England defense, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
27 points.
Made
7 games.
Sam Darnold. He was seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah.
He was seeing ghosts.
Which,
Which Adam Gase was upset about.
And-
That
and understandably so, but
Yeah.
that's the job. I mean, you get paid millions. That stuff should be allowed to be aired,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion. But to a certain extent. I don't know about the Buffalo Bills. Sitting
Yeah.
at 5-1 right now. The schedule's been fairly weak. I don't think
They play-
Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo is going to go very far.
You don't think so?
I really
think they'll
don't.
go 500.
I think 500 is yes.
They can go 80.
So I mean that's 3-8 in their next 11 games. So when you
They do
start
have
playing
to-
better competition,
They have to play New England again,
Yeah.
correct? And they have to play the Browns. They have to play the everybody in the AFC North, correct? I think.
yeah. So
We'll see.
and then the AFC North, that division's questionable right now. Baltimore's definitely the best team in the division right
Most
now. There's no
definitely.
question about
Yeah.
that. Lamar Jackson looks like an MVP candidate early. Cleveland's struggling. Pittsburgh's starting to rebound a little bit because their schedule gets a little favorable here. So things could get interesting in the AFC North. But I did think that Baltimore was going to lose to Seattle, and they went there and they won. And they looked good doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the AFC South is very good.
Oh yes.
That is a sleeper division. The Texans and Colts, even Jacksonville's starting to come up on the rise a little bit. But
With Minshew.
yeah, that the AFC South is a good division.
All right. I had a couple points from this weekend. Obviously, the Browns and Steelers are both on a bye, so we couldn't really report on those guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, as I said, Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts. Chase Edwards stepped up for the Cardinals, though.
yeah.
Didn't
Screwed a lot of
David
people in
Johnson got
fantasy.
hurt? Yeah.
Because
Screwed
David
you
Johnson,
in fantasy.
David Johnson was. This makes me very mad because he was active, and he was available to play, and they chose not to play him, and they played the backup, and then Kingsbury comes out after the game and said he was on an if-needed basis. Well, you know what, Cliff? Why didn't you tell us that before the game? You know,
Hey, Noah, who'd you play in fantasy this week?
person sitting next to me.
What was the result of that game?
I lost by 40 points. Thanks, Cliff. Thanks, David.
Shout out Cowboys defense. Y'all were balling out for me this week. In other news, Aaron Rodgers looked to be in MVP form. He had 6 total touches.
Yes.
He looked unreal. 5 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Was it 5 and 1?
And you know, Vinny. You know Vinny.
I know Vinny.
We're
Yeah.
not going to say who he is in the
Yep.
camera, but Vinny benched him for Josh Allen.
How stupid does he feel?
So I just had to make that point. I hope you're listening, Vinny.
Yep. And then there was also a quarterback duel between the Lions and the Vikings, which nobody thought.
Yeah.
I mean, Stafford's always been solid, but Cousins has always been... Since he got that contract,
Kirk's overrated.
he's been extremely overrated since he's gotten that contract with the Vikings. But that was a fun game.
It was a very fun game.
A very fun game. It was like an arena football game.
Yes,
you love,
it was.
You love those,
Yeah.
the arena football games. But not much else going on.
No, I mean, that was it was a good week, good couple week, good almost first half of the season here in the NFL. Some trades went down. Emmanuel Sanders got traded.
Mohamed Sanu
got traded.
Yep.
So there's some teams that are looking to get better. New England, I really don't know if they need to make that trade. I mean,
well, Josh Gordon has been iffy. That's why they need another receiver. They feel like, and Edelman's been with his ribs, so they need another slot guy. That's why they went for Sanu.
So it is what it is. New England's the best team in the league right now. There's no question about that.
There's no question about it.
But yeah, I think that about wraps up.
That'll about do it for us.
Other than next week, we should make the announcement that we are going to have a Halloween episode next week. We're going to dress up. We're going to bring Phil on. He'll dress up. He'll be on for a couple minutes. I'm going to be a referee.
And I will be the prodigal son, Baker Mayfield.
Phil, who are you going to be? Phil doesn't know. He's saying he doesn't know.
Yep.
But that should be a fun episode. Look for that next Wednesday or Thursday as well. This episode will be out Thursday. So
yeah, we should release it on Thursday. Thursday is Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Halloween. So it's come quick.
It is. This month's gone by fast. We're sorry we haven't been updating you guys very much.
Very busy.
We've all been very busy with midterms, and you know how college works. So we got a lot of stuff on our plate. But we're trying to get you guys content. That's why we're pushing these episodes out for you. But that does it for us.
Yeah.
So
Good to be back.
it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels good to be back in the seat here.
Yeah. All right. Till next time. Peace.